Hello, everyone, and welcome to this next episode. I'm actually for the first time recording this podcast with video as well. So, if you feel that you want to listen and look, then follow the link in my show notes and go to YouTube where I will be uploading this episode. But anyway, let's just get going. So, in this episode, I'd like to talk about the fucking bullshit of needing to fulfill your highest potential. And maybe you're now wondering, but why aren't we supposed to be here to do everything that we can to make the best of life and to really, do what we are capable of? Well, I'm going to explain in this episode that I have some issues with that idea and also how to reframe it and really use it in our advantage. All right. So, as you know, my main focus is to work with clients on their personal brand. And the key area that we're talking about here is identity. In branding, in leadership, it's all about identity. Now, we all have an identity. I mean, in this life, in this human experience that we're having, there's one existential question that moves a lot of us, and that is the question, who am I? So you could say that branding is almost a very existential field that answers the deepest questions of our soul. But the real question is not necessarily about who you are now. It is more about your future self. And let me explain that a little bit. So in branding, it's not just about, what you've done up to now. In your personal branding, you have a purpose. You want to reach an audience. You generally want to make a difference. And that means that, if you want to upgrade or up-level your branding, you need to start doing something differently. So everything that who you've been, all of who you've been up to now has gotten to where you are at this point. But if you want to move forward, and know that you want to reach different goals or a different audience, there's a reason why you're going to work on your personal brand. In that case, you want to know who you want to be in the future. So it's your future self that we want to work on. You see, I wasn't who I am now 10 years ago. I evolved. I discovered more parts of myself. I, basically peeled off all these layers. And I also know that this is a process that will continue in the next decade. And that goes for everyone in this world. We are all changing and evolving. And sure, in the very core, we are who we are. But there's definitely, sometimes we don't even know who we are or who we can be. But the question is that the question, who you can be? A lot of people talk about that. Who can you be? Who can you become? And that's where the highest, fulfilling your highest potential comes in. Because there's this notion, there is this idea that we all need to fulfill our highest potential. And I have a little bit of a problem with that. So let's just break down that sentence, or let's just look at a few elements. Because for me, the word highest potential suggests that there is a level of hierarchy. So there's a ladder that we need to climb. As if there's a comparison needed from, who you are at some point, and then you need to be better, as if right now is not good enough. And even though I really believe in evolving and growing and seeing, how can we expand ourselves, I really deeply believe that this can help us to be more free and to live a life that is so much more fulfilling, so much more satisfying. Because in many cases, we are stuck, or there's something that doesn't always work for us, and you can see that in the way that we build our relationships, or in the way that relate to others, or in the way that we do our work. It works for a while, and at some point it's like, I've actually been struggling. That's life. We all struggle. So yeah, we want to grow. We want to evolve. But is it about reaching your highest potential? Is that really the best way? Is that what serves us best? Because the thing is, I believe that with time and effort, we could do anything we want. I really believe in our limitless potential as human beings. We could, if we could really reprogram ourselves, do lots of inner work, anything is possible. The question is, do we want to? Do we really want that? Do we want to fulfill all of our potential? Or is it okay to focus on something that we really desire, something that we really want, ignoring the fact that maybe we have some other skills or some other talents or some other beautiful qualities that can serve us, but, might take away from the experience that we actually want. So my question is for you, what do you really want? Like, what does your heart desire? What does your heart long for? So for me, always looking for my highest potential, it feels exhausting. That is maybe how it goes through my filter. For me, it's like I always need to strive to do better, and there's always so much more possible. So I'm not doing enough. How can I reach more? How can I do more? And that is, for me, as if I'm in this rat race where I am running and maybe not even able to keep up with myself or keep up with the stories of I need to do more and reach more and fulfill my potential even more. So, and especially because we talk a lot about how time is a resource that we can never get back. Oh, I'm sorry, I just bumped my elbow there. So the video was a little bit shaky and maybe you heard the bang. Anyway, so maybe you heard the phrase that, time is a limited resource because we can never turn back time. So there's no time to waste. Before we know it, our life is gone. And it's true. It's true. But if you combine that, we need to fulfill our highest potential and we cannot waste any more time. This could, in some cases, depending on, who you are, how your brain is wired. But if you're always in that mode of prestige and performance, this is a recipe for burnout. This is just going to burn you out even more. So I have thought about this many times and reflected on this in my life. The thing is, I don't even know if I want to fulfill my potential in terms of, when it has to do with reaching millions or changing the world. I cannot do that. I cannot do that alone. Or I might be able to do that, but I don't want to, because if I would do that, it would require me to put so much time in my business at this point that I don't have any time to do the things that I actually value. You see, I love the fact that every Wednesday is dedicated to my niece and my sister. My baby niece, she is at this point almost a year old, and she's the light of my life. And I'm so fucking grateful that I get to spend so much time with her and that I am one of her, almost primary caregivers apart from her parents. I'm next to her parents, I'm the one that she sees most. And I'm so proud of that. I'm so proud to be able to fulfill a place in her life that, if that means that my business is not going to be as big or my potential is not being fully reached, then that's okay. So this is something that I value. I've decided that I value my own sanity and love and connection with my family more than only working on a 6 or 7 figure business. 6 figures, yeah, sure. But a 7-figure business, it's amazing, but it's not necessarily what I want. So the question is, for me, what do I value most? And that's a question that I would like to ask you as well. If you let go of the notion that you need to fulfill your highest potential, if you let go of the idea that there's no time to waste, and you basically give yourself permission to live a life of joy and pleasure, doing what you love right now, not just in 10 years once you've worked your ass off. And basically, life is happening right here, right now. So can you allow a little bit of spaciousness? Can you allow yourself to live it now, every day? And ask yourself, what is it that I really like to do? Which is generally not just working on your business or working on your own amazing potential. It also has to do with the people that you love. And for me, it's all about aligning those values, asking myself, so what do I value? What is it that I want to experience? And aligning that with my actions in my daily life, not necessarily in something that is in the future. For me, it's about right now, in this very moment. So I choose freely. I choose who I want to be. So just getting back to the starting question, we were talking about identity. We were talking about how leadership, personal leadership and personal branding is about the question, who are you? But also, your future self. And the right question here is not who can you be, but who do you want to be? Who do you choose to be? Do you want to be someone who is extremely ambitious and motivated and driven to make a difference and reach millions? Then props to you. I celebrate you. This is truly wonderful, as long as it's a desire and a conscious choice that this is what you really want. If it's not, if you have a different desire, for example, like I have, yes, I have a purpose. Yes, I feel connected to it. Yes, I want to reach people. Yes, I fucking want to serve. And I also want to live a life now. Yes, I also want to be able to be there for my family. I love the fact that I have a really good bond with my family members, like all of them, and that when there has been crises, and there has been quite some crises in the last years in my family, like death, illness, so much, I'm happy that I was there, that I am still there, that I choose to prioritize them. And that has consequences on my business too. I'm realizing that. I have even judged myself for it, felt inadequate because now my business is failing or not growing as fast. I've judged that within myself, only then to realize, but hey, listen, wait, didn't I make a conscious choice that I value love and connection in my life? And that means that if it slows me down, that's fine. It's okay. So I choose freely, and my potential, my highest potential, is to do that within that framework, within the framework of my values, within the framework of what I want to experience in this life on a daily basis, and not just in 10 years when I'm able to, just let go of everything or something. No, I want to live life now. So I let my values drive my life choices and my daily schedule, because that's how I honor my heart's true desires, So this is not about playing small. It just means that I have different goals from other people, from the big names out there. And I really admire these people who are able to reach millions and who have that ambition. And I think that's great, but I also think that, especially if you look up to these people, that if you keep comparing yourself to them, then maybe you feel like you're never doing enough. Because again, you're not fulfilling your potential, because if they can do it, you can do it. That's something that they say all the time as well. So my message for you is that you tune into what it is that you truly want, what it is that you truly desire. And within that scope, you can create and discover so much and expand even beyond what you think is possible. And this is how you can truly build a business and build your personal brand on your own terms, knowing that there's a life beyond that business that wants to be lived and experienced and loved and really integrated in every part of your life. So you are an amazing creature who is capable of everything. And by following your heart's desires rather than just what your mind is telling you you're capable of, or rather than what you are capable of, but you also combine that with following your heart's desires, that's where the magic is. You know, we deserve a life that's our life. I hope that helps. Have a great day.